I'm Chris, ex-member of the Hells Angels, and I am chatting with Staxx.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Chris.
Doing big things, moving big time, and you got to find somebody to tell on. I don't know what else to say, man. That's it's unethical.
So, what would be your advice to someone that's maybe thinking about joining a motorcycle club, a 1% club?
Watch your back from the people that are closest to you. Right? Because Sons of Anarchy is bad for the 1% motorcycle club. I mean, there's some truth to Sons of Anarchy, right? When it comes to what goes on. I remember when I was in the club and I always used to hear the outlaws would call the Hells Angels maggots because they cannibalize themselves. I didn't know if I believed that then, but I think there's some truth to that. And I can't speak for their club because I don't know anything about their inner workings of their club at all. I don't even know if I know anything about the inner workings of the Hells Angels either as to what's going on today, or even then there might have been, but the brotherhood in some respects is not what it's supposed to be, you know? So my advice to somebody is don't do it. And then the other thing that when I was in the club, they always used to say it's better to be a trusted friend of the club than to be in the club. I thought, well, that sounds ridiculous. But I think that might be true too now. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not advocating for people to go out and handle their business and do this stuff because of whatever happened to them. But that's the lifestyle that you chose. I'll tell you what, the dude that told on me, I know where he lives. I went to his house. I honked his horn to his car, banged on the door, tried to get him to come out. He wouldn't come out. And you know what? The only thing I want to do is spit in his face and bitch slap him like a little girl and leave him with that because that's all you deserve. You don't deserve me to waste my time, but like, you broke bread with my grandma. That's
After you
cold.
leave the club and he cooperates, what happens? Because he's a full patch member, right?
So, so, man, I used to think I was the dumbest person in the world, right? Like the starting thing. And I'm like, how do the cops know that I'm in Cleveland? How is all this stuff happening? Well, when the closest person to you is telling on you all the time, you know what I mean? And then there's a rift between an older member in Rockford and like the fight and all these rifts, right? Like the art of war is divide and conquer. The more the clubs are divided, the more the charters are divided among, the easier they are for pickings, slim pickings. And the cops know that, you know? But so I didn't see it. And so I started the line of when my attorney indicted me or showed me the indictment, he brought a piece of paper and it had some dates of some recordings on it. And prior to my indictment, one of the wires set up was, hey, some members in Illinois just got indicted. I need to come up and talk to you at the restaurant while I was there. And he came up there and was wearing a wire. And another member came with him, and another member had been there. So I looked at the dates and I had thought I had knew who it was. And I was shocked to find out that it was the person that was the closest to me because I actually first blame somebody else. And then because I didn't know, the cops put me in the hole. So from the time I started that cocaine and went to the hole till the 7 days later I got out, that person that wore the wire on me disappeared. I made my first phone call to Rockford. They asked me where he was at. I said, I have no idea. I'm asking you the same thing. And so that was the setup for him to be gone.
So he doesn't get witness protection or nothing like that?
You know what? I don't think so. I haven't seen him. And I let it lie because you know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do? But when I was on pro, but when the time arose and I found out where he lived, right? It wasn't hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard. They have things in Wisconsin. They have CCAP. You get speeding tickets. They put your address on there. You go to child support. They put your address in the clerk of courts. It's not
Well,
hard.
I mean, look at Pat Matter. He lives in the same house in Minnesota. He ratted on how many people?
Right? Yeah.
He lives in the same house. Like,
Yeah, they do, right? But you know what? Special people get special privileges. And you know what? I can't prove this, and it's just my opinion that there's a lot of people around that time that went down for a lot of things separately, but like, like years after they happened, because you can't just, in the feds, I'm pretty sure when you cooperate, for each cooperation, they only knock like 10% of your time off. So if you got like 18 or 19 years, 10, I mean, that's a lot of cooperating, right? And I know the feds send people to jail even if they tell,
yeah,
full of it, right?
happens all the time.
Yeah, you know, and they slide through the cracks or whatever. So it's just interesting, you know what I mean? Like a lot of things. Uh, I told Pee Wee this. That person is the reason why a lot of people went down. And you know what? You might not ever get it in paperwork, you know? And looking back at that, thinking to myself, like, didn't anybody else think it was odd that they were having a going away party for somebody that was getting that much time that they never got bail? Because you know what? You know what I never got is bail. From the time I was locked up from the feds, from the time in Cleveland they wanted to give me diesel therapy, they did not want to let me out. The magistrate even came up with a plan for me to get bail because I had a kid. I was going to wear a bracelet. I was going to live at my mom's house. I had it all mapped out, documented out, came with this plan. And you know what the judge said? No.
And he had priors too. Pat had
Yeah.
priors. So, like,
Yeah.
there's no way they were going to let him out. But obviously, they're like, hey, this is perfect idea.
And you know what? If it looking back on that, I'll ask anybody this, right? After being in jail, who the fuck would turn themselves in to do like 18 or 19 years? Who would turn themselves in to do 5? You know what I mean? Why catch me if you can? I'm not turning myself into jail. That's why they don't let people out that are getting murdered that they know they're guilty. Because they would run. Nobody's turning themselves in. Especially after you get sentenced. You might be out fighting your case if you got a good attorney or special circumstances. But once you're sentenced to that kind of time, you don't get time to get your world in forms and say, "Hey, we just sent you to 20. We'll see you back here in a couple of days." And you're going to show
Yeah.
up with bells on and say, "Hey, I'm here to report."
You got
No.
a stay of execution. You got it 30 days.
Yeah. No. No. And you know what? That's just shocking to me. It's shocking to me that with the trouble that members in the clubs have been through, that they didn't know that the arrogance. And the arrogance, it's really arrogance. And not being about them individually allowed that to happen. That's why that happens. You know?
I mean, you couldn't see the writing on the wall, and your own friend was telling on you, right? It was right in front of your face, and you couldn't see it.
I've never been through it before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, you know what? The one thing that always happened and was like, hey, I can't talk to you on the phone. I need you to come over here so I can talk to you.
So that's
You
a
know?
telltale sign, right?
If someone said that to me today, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me.
Shout out to Mountain Valley water. I drink
Hey man, best stuff in the world right here, man.
I drink a lot of Clearly Canadian.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
got this water app, man. It's changed my life, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, you asked me what my advice to be anybody that wanted to join the club. It's like I understand. I met this kid that's an outlaw here in Madison, right? He didn't know at first that I used to be a Hell's Angel, right? And I was hanging out and I went to a bar with I actually went to a strip club with him, right? Because I seen him. And I told him the same thing. I said, hey, he goes, why would you join the Hell's Angels? I said, come on, man. It's Americana. And you gotta admit the patches are cooler, right? And this dude is a rock solid dude, right? Like I like the dude. And he told me why he joined, and he said because I didn't have a family growing up, and I played football, and I love the camaraderie, and I love to travel. And I'll say this: he rode his motorcycle a lot, right? I've seen him on a motorcycle, and he said, they brought me that family, and like I said, I don't know how the inner workings of their clubs are, you know. And the other thing I don't understand is at least when I joined, is why are one percenters from one club jumping ship and going to another? That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, right? Like, no matter what happened, there's not a fucking chance in hell, no matter whether I like the people in these clubs or not, right? If I would do that, because you're just not supposed to, like, I don't understand it, you
There's like
know?
rules against that, right?
I thought there were. I remember when I was prospecting and this dude came around and he was an outlaw or used to be an outlaw. And I'm like, are you sure he's not working for the other team still? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's just crazy to me. So I don't I mean, unless they were like morphed into clubs, you know what I mean? Like the Alpha Steros and the Galloping Gooses and the Hells Angels relationship, I think is different. But like not clubs that don't like each other. I mean, you don't laterally transfer either, you move up. And so, like, going from one club to another, that's a lateral transfer. And, I remember one thing one time when a member wanted to transfer out of the charter that I was in Rockford. And there was a member there, and me and him didn't really see eye to eye. And he was original New York City member. But he did say one thing when that person wanted to transfer. We're not, we like the Hell's Angels. Like I can't remember what I said, but he goes, but we don't give our brothers our baggage and let them take care of it. We take care of it here. I know people transfer all over for different reasons. I liken that to like going from 1% motorcycle club to another. It's kind of like a lateral transfer, right? You're
Yeah.
not moving up. You're just, you know,
Move it to the side.
yeah. I don't one day decide that I'm a US citizen and now I'm an Iranian citizen, right? I'll go,
People do
you
it
know,
every day nowadays.
it's crazy, right? Like and so that's just me. It's hard for me to comprehend. There's a lot of things that are hard to comprehend. I don't really know why. If you're looking to join a motorcycle club to ride a motorcycle in the wild one and ride on the sidewalks and raise hell and shit like that, right? Party, act crazy. I don't think they do that. That's not what it is. That's an illusion. It's more
Changed
about,
changed over the time. You think a lot? It changed quite a bit.
yeah. Terry the Tramp died a long time ago.
George Christie still talks about him like he was here yesterday. Very
Yeah,
odd.
those days are over, man. And I'm not. And you know what? Salute to that. You know what I mean? That's what I thought it was about, right? Altamont, those kind of things. That's what I thought it was about,
Yeah.
and I was okay with that. I didn't know all the other craziness. You
Well,
know.
you have a wild story, man, and we could keep going all night. But I'm gonna get this out to the people and see what they think about your story, and I'll bring you back on. And you can tell me some more.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, man. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Definitely. I enjoy listening to your stories, man. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we go?
You know what, Stax? I'll give a shout out to you for having me on your show and doing what you're doing, right? Keeping it real the best that you can. And hey, if what comes out of your show is the truth and people get offended, it's to tell that it really is the truth. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like this show, too bad. Start your own podcast. Peace.
Peace.